Thank you everyone for coming to the Festival of Chimes and Lights Committee meeting, Monday, December 17th. We're going to get started with our agenda by talking about our event. So we're looking for feedback.
Oh, it was a moment I won't ever forget. It was so neat to stand up there, really, and see all those people.
You were our celebrity for the night. And
I felt honored, truly. Thank you.
The Chimes apologize for not ringing out on your meeting.
well.
What was the glitch?
Well,
Oh, they haven't been working all year.
yeah.
Oh.
And we thought we could eke them out just one more time.
Uh-huh.
It's ancient equipment. I think it's actually more of a cassette type style.
Yeah.
And you know what? It just wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be.
They're broken, and they really are broken. And so it's in the budget, but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
I bet
money.
it is.
So for this next year, we're really hoping that we'll be able to follow through and get it.
Is there any truth to the rumor it's going to be actually a cuckoo clock?
And I'm going to be on the top.
Well, we won't tell. We don't want anybody to be to know ahead of time.
It was a great moment, though, really, for me.
It was well attended.
It was well attended.
And even when the high school band came through, the crowd was right shoulder to shoulder with
It's
the high
true.
school band.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was really packed in. Actually,
Yeah.
there was some kids in front that I had to kind of settle down a little bit because they were getting a
Yeah,
little...
they were rowdy over there by me.
Yeah, and it was, well, because there's that whole wall there. I didn't
Yeah.
want them going over,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh.
So they were playing Star Wars or something, you know?
What I noticed, I went down to Santa's sleigh. Number one, Santa wasn't in the sleigh.
Right.
He had his chair
He said he was using it as a backdrop. So.
as a backdrop. He and his wife were sitting in it.
Oh, they were in the
They
sleigh?
were in the chair and
Oh,
not in the
right, right,
sleigh.
Right.
Oh,
But
that
for the
was his
pictures.
intent then?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because last year they were in the sleigh itself. Okay. And because of the number of candy canes that I knew I had given Karen, I talked with her and asked her how many she had left. And she said that at 6:30 the crowd was pretty heavy down there. By 7:30 they were done.
Mhm.
So it was right at an hour.
So it is, and that's what it's typically been, pretty much, hasn't it?
Right
An
at
hour?
right at about an hour. But
Mhm.
guessing, we've got approximately, I'm going to say that she gave out 110 candy canes because I know exactly how many she had to begin with.
Yeah.
And so she's got 3.5 boxes left, so that calculates out to about 110. And a lot of the kids were kids that weren't sitting on Santa's lap and things. They were just kids to come by and hi Santa, you know, bigger kids of a family.
Sure.
But it lasted for about an hour down there. But it was quiet. It was the taste and see down there and just Santa. And it didn't seem to me jovial like what was going on down here.
So it needed more music or
It
something?
needed music. We needed a boom box with Christmas music. It was just too quiet and
Okay.
too silent.
Okay.
And a lot of empty space in the parking lot.
Okay.
The taste and see was there giving out whatever they were giving out.
The parking lot's actually closed.
I know, the whole parking lot was closed.
What do you meant by people?
Yeah.
For people just
yeah.
standing on.
There just wasn't anything really happening that would make you want to stay and mill around for a while others are getting their pictures. But I almost felt like, gee, this is the whole event of Santa coming in and you're just standing in line waiting to see Santa with no music, no nothing. It was dead. I felt.
I wonder if we're having too many Santa sightings. I mean, there was the cabin, and that wasn't Santa there, and there was the breakfast.
Yeah, they had the 300.
So-
Chris said they had over
We
300
had
kids at the
almost
Santa
400.
breakfast.
So see that, you know.
Pancake House was doing Santa.
Well,
We did our
I'm
Santa
saying maybe
breakfast,
that's too much competition. Maybe they have seen Santa already at least once or twice, and maybe that's part of the problem of people not staying or showing up for Santa. You know, it could be.
The line was down to about Peninsula Feed, which is
Uh-huh.
typical,
Uh-huh.
but you wait maybe 5 minutes. Each one, you know, gets on Santa's lap or whatever, and they take 5 minutes. Karen said usually about 5 minutes is what they would allow.
Mhm.
And then within an hour, boom, it was over. It was done.
And where were they? Down
At the gazebo.
Mhm.
They were under the
Gazebo.
gazebo.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay, So,
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
we'll
we
to
could have
think on
even
that.
had our Fathoms boombox down there tuned into Pandora playing Christmas music had we realized that. But I thought the year before they actually had music at the bleacher area.
That was
2 years
more
ago?
than a year ago, right? And it
Couple
didn't
years
work
back.
out that well. They didn't feel there were enough people around,
Okay.
and they got wet. You know, it just wasn't a good setup.
No.
So
But
that's
I
something
did
we can
really
work on.
good this year with people in the shop. I had the best hour and a half. I ran it by myself after I got down there.
Oh my goodness.
And I had a lot of people in my shop.
A lot of people.
So we did have people around.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of what you're saying is we need a little more festive spirit down at the other
Especially
end.
for Santa.
Mhm.
I mean, he's kind of the prime.
Yeah.
He looked great coming in.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah,
I mean,
he
Yes.
that
looked great
so
coming in.
I know.
neat. I really.
Yes, and she had that new costume, and didn't she look
She
amazing?
did. In
Yeah.
fact, we could really see it so well. 'cause
Yes.
We were up high. First time I really got to see it. It was wonderful.
Oh, everything.
And the band was great.
Oh, they really
Oh, the
are,
band
aren't
was
they?
always
They
good.
just-
Yeah, they were wonderful.
And that choral group behind, while we were.
It's the Kitsap Community
That
Chorale,
was
and they
good.
are
Mhm.
That
a
was
wonderful
really
group.
good.
All of the groups just are,
Good.
isn't that
Yeah.
something?
Yeah,
And then the
they-
dance gallery was going down there. Well, we can work on
Let's work on it for next year.
something over on that end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can be thinking on what that would do, what we could do to help with that.
And I've heard nothing but positive feedback on the trees.
Oh, I've heard
That's all
Yeah.
I hear too,
Uh-huh.
even now. I mean,
Oh,
And
yeah.
today, when I went down to Coffee Oasis this morning, I looked at Salon Pederoso. Oh, gold combs on that tree. Because she hadn't decorated the last time I was down. And,
Yes.
and it looked so cute with all of her
Isn't
sprayed
it?
gold combs.
All of the candy has gone from the candy shop tree.
I wonder why.
Which is really cute. I went by the other day because I was taking photos again, after everyone had decorated. I said, what happened to their tree? There's nothing left except a sucker on the top.
And the windstorm,
That's funny.
I walk every morning. There was only one tree. The library tree was like this.
Oh, was
so
it?
I just took it
Little
And just
leaves.
shoved it back?
and it stayed up. It was just
Those
the wind
trees
must have
were really
just
well
hit
anchored.
it.
I think next year I would like to do an extra foot,
Okay,
just so we can have an extra foot to anchor into
sure.
the pot.
To go all the way down.
But isn't it amazing? And that was a lot of wind. I mean, our
Yeah.
lights went out. Our
Right.
visa machine blew up. And
Underneath the dirt, there's some secret stakes
Ah.
thank you.
holding that tree.
And you're not
Holding
going to
that
tell
tray.
anyone about it because
No, it's a
Big anchor spikes.
That's right.
So, we bought 6-foot trees this year, Bill. So that'll probably change the price of the tree.
It will.
I wonder if we will need to charge more.
When it gets closer, I'll contact him again in case his prices go up. We could still probably get an average by looking at that list. Did I give it to you, or do I got it?
Do you
50
feel
was
you're-
reasonable. If you start going up,
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a harder time
I
selling.
know that that's true.
Did you feel
Yeah.
that they weren't anchored?
No, I just,
'Cause I
when we
was-
did have the windstorm, I was concerned about that.
And this
I
year, we
was-
really didn't have any bad storms hardly to
Yeah.
speak
Oh.
of.
We had that one.
Yeah, but
And it
not
really-
compared to
yeah.
other years where
Yeah,
it's
that's
just,
true.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's been blowing sideways. When we
Mhm.
did the garland, yeah.
I really liked the poles that you did at the end of the
Yes.
street. I liked
Yes,
that.
didn't they
That
look
really,
nice?
With the
that-
decorations the way they are, I don't think you really pay attention to the fact that there's no garland.
Very
Right.
few people noticed
No.
or
Mhm.
said much about it.
Mhm.
And we've had mostly amazing feedback.
Yeah.
We just have had one person write a letter, anonymous, about the process for judging. So they wanted something that was 1 to 50 and all these different categories. But I think the gist of the letter is they didn't think that the winners met criteria for the categories. That they were maybe chosen more for the organizations, is what the letter referred to, than for falling into these
Okay,
categories.
the question I had, when did the category go out? Because I didn't know that there were categories, because that might have made a difference on how people decorated their tree.
That was on the original sheet. We
On the
actually-
original application?
Right,
Oh, I
we
didn't
actually
see that.
explained that. Now, we've never done that before, and we just kind of
Yeah.
came up with whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then as far as judging, it was Santa and Mrs. Santa
Mhm.
that ended up
Right.
doing that. And we didn't have a panel or anything. I think that no matter what, I was just thinking, the Seagull Calling Contest, you have a panel of judges, and a lot of it is just, you can bribe them,
Right.
Well, there's always going to be people questioning who is judging. And
True.
The whole thing with having Santa do it was just pulled out of the air
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
we'd never done it before.
Yeah.
And Santa and Mrs. Santa don't have any connections to speak of. They were very careful about any kind of connection with the school system. So that was worked out.
Sure.
And, but, as I don't want to take away the fun of this either. We have,
Make it a big competition. People are. No.
we'll have to be thinking on, maybe switching out the judges every year. I don't know. Most people who are participating now have some kind of connect in the community. So it doesn't make sense to try to form a panel from any of our organizations because there would be a conflict of interest.
Right.
So
Right.
I think, finding somebody who's out there that's kind of prominent to judge. And we'll just say, I loved how the winners turned out, to be honest with you. I also agreed with the person that said, well, it may not have been the most sensational in my way of thinking until I started thinking on how the judging had actually taken place. Retzel, when I delivered their prize, the people were so overwhelmed with emotion. They had
Mhm.
put so much into it. And, I was in there going, oh my, this is too
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
all these people were in there, and a lot of them have really challenged lives, and they were so happy.
Yeah.
They were just so
Yeah.
happy, and you just go, you know what? That makes sense. These are Northwest veterans. Hey, you look at it from a different light,
Mhm.
and a small business owner downtown winning. She put a lot into it.
She did.
And she kept putting things out, and I just go, and then the same thing with the corner, the grateful tree.
I see the squid on top of, or the octopus now on top of one of the trees down there by Josephine's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's always been there.
I hadn't noticed it.
Oh, yeah. It's a very fun tree.
Hadn't
Yeah,
noticed
Oh,
it.
and people put a lot into it. So all I'm
Yeah.
saying is there were a lot of great
Yeah.
trees. And you know what? The judges always have a different way of looking at things.
They do.
So we'll just probably switch that around every year.
We
Mhm.
could do a little more categories somehow, like
It was,
How
you know
did
what,
we
not
do
easy
that?
to judge.
Well,
Bobby,
true.
a lot of times, I think you were out there that night. It was raining.
Yeah.
It was dark because you have to see the lights, and you only have so much time.
Right.
So this person who wrote this anonymous letter suggested judging on the day of the event. That could not happen, and we know that. We know that we have a hard enough time with the Pooch and Purse Parade.
Yeah.
Long and the short of it is, we'll work that out. We are trying to be as fair as we can, but you can't have a perfect fairness, and this
Mhm.
isn't a political deal. It's supposed to be fun. And I think the participants were wonderful, and they got recognition in ads. We were really generous, I think, with getting the names out there of who had paid to decorate. And this went over so well. People loved it. I don't think there were a lot of bad feelings because people didn't win a prize.
So you had Mrs. Howe, the veterans, and who was the third one?
The cottage, Artisan Cottage,
Arts and
a little
Commerce?
shop down in the market.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Tiffany sits inside where the
Yes, that had
where the
one.
dock is, you know.
So
Okay.
the 3 different ones, and we will be putting out a thank you, and we'll tell the winners. And then we are just kind of waiting for this meeting to find out about going forward with this again next year. So I would say yes. Everyone is saying the same thing. And Bill, you are basically the one who can help make this
Well,
happen.
I know.
I'm kind of rethinking the extra foot, but let's hold judgment on that until
See how
the prices change.
Yeah,
Right.
and if they really I think they've lasted really good. I
Oh,
see
yeah.
them
They
every
have.
morning, and I picked up maybe only 10 ornaments and a few trees, you know, their little wreaths or whatever they have on it. But some of them are not going to move. That octopus or squib or whatever.
It's amazing.
That's the Gig Harbor Youth
Academy.
Academy.
Yes.
They put work in that.
Right.
It's not going to move.
Well, and I think what our thank yous will just go out and
Yeah.
say, everybody loved them.
And-
And would they be interested in doing it again? So that's part of it now, is
Yeah.
thinking, moving forward with it is, when should we open this up? Do you think we should open this up just at the first of the year, or should we wait?
When you send out the thank you notice, say, we're planning to do this again next year.
Yeah.
Would you like your same spot back? If so, check here. You could do something like that even, because in that way you get a commitment right away if they're gonna come back.
Or just not maybe guaranteeing the spot,
Mm-hmm.
but ask if they would like to be one of the, and I think this time, Bill, there were 58 planters counted in the beginning. Do you think they're all in good enough shape? What we can do is get our number, and we didn't have all 58 planters available. We really thought we were gonna stick around the 32 or so,
Yeah, we got 34, I believe.
34.
And
Why don't
Carter's
we
put
we
their
have to,
own
re-
tree in.
what-
Carter's put their own tree
Yeah.
in.
More than that one business did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we should wait until it gets closer to have a count on the planners, because who knows what's gonna happen to, let's say if we commit to 58 and then 3 of them get broken,
Right.
Yeah, that's
then
true.
you're,
Well, we had wanted to have a couple of extra, but I don't think we have to order extra if we're gonna be using all the planters, extra trees, because they were beautiful.
right.
That brings up a point though, when you said Carter's put in his own tree. Does that mean that the
It won't happen
businesses-
next year, because what we'll have to do is we will empty all the planters again of the
Okay.
flowers,
I
and
gotta
we will
say-
be putting a tree in every planter to be adopted, because
Okay.
what we're seeing is we have enough interest that
Mhm.
we can actually have all the planters committed. We didn't know. You
Yeah.
know, this year,
First time
we
we
had
don't
so
know.
many
Yeah.
unknowns, including whether we would have the power sources to be able
Mhm.
to light them all. And now we realize that if they're LED lights,
Yeah.
we're probably pretty good with that. We had a few cords running from place to place, but some people didn't even want a lit tree. So, I guess making them available then with our press release, thank you, when that happens.
Did the
To,
lights work out okay?
Yes.
yeah, they
We
did.
didn't have any issues.
Oh,
Isn't that something? I mean, it's yay.
Except that one on the end by Sydney, right in front of your place.
Is that
That was,
That was a
No,
problem
with
child.
the candy
that candy
canes
cane one.
coming.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry for my planter.
Well, so maybe what we do then is allow people to reserve a space, but maybe we don't allow them to say which space until closer to whatever. Then we'll have a better idea of where our planters are, because during the summer things can switch around if we have needs down there or whatever. And Bill's saying, you know, we have one planter that's really far down here,
Mhm.
and you know, we'll have a better idea.
Mhm.
But we could have people reserve their spots. Now, do we need to have them pay to reserve? That's a lot
I
ahead
can
of time,
find
and how
out,
do we handle
yeah.
that? And maybe it's they pay once they choose a location. Maybe they can just do an agreement in the beginning, show interest, and maybe we don't start taking payment. I bet that will help finance, because I think it's kind of tricky getting payments so far in advance with the way we do
That's
things.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you all liking these ideas? I mean,
Mhm.
throw information into the ring, because
It's definitely, the garland, we used to have to come in at 2 a.m. And the older I get, the more I realize I like sleeping at 2 a.m.
right.
So I can do this during the day.
Yes, you know
Yeah.
what? It's safer.
And it's safer, yes.
Well, we're not going back to Garland for quite a while because we don't have the ability to hang it at the height that we would have to hang it. And you know what? I don't think we're missing it. I think what we've had now is focus down the street, and it's so pretty.
Yes.
And people have commented from other
People will walk the
cities.
sidewalks and look at the trees. They're not gonna look up at the garland. If you're driving through town, oh, isn't that pretty? But people that are downtown shopping and walking,
I've
they're
seen
gonna
so
stop
many.
and look at the trees.
And that's another thing. I know that POPSA was having a People's Choice
We
judging,
still have it going.
and that's going to be announced on the 22nd.
Right, Saturday.
I think that could be included as part of our the contest this year.
Mm-hmm.
Is a People's Choice Award. So we could have that, and then we could have other judging as well. Or we can just have it all. The problem with just a People's Choice, if you just have, there are going to be a lot of people that don't get downtown.
That don't get downtown, they don't have time to walk both sides of the street.
Or
Maybe-
that, you know, that you
Yeah.
have one group putting in 25 ballots or something. So
Yeah.
we have no way of really checking that so well. But I think a People's Choice is a good idea.
Yeah, we have a lot of little ballots in there.
Okay, so
Working.
we can be working
Mhm.
on that to have a People's Choice that, and
that it?
whether we coordinate that with POPSA, but maybe that can be announced all at the same time then. So let's think on that
Mhm.
and how to incorporate that too. So then it gives the public an opportunity.
Sure.
And the council, I told you before, and I'm making it really clear to everybody, council members actually pool money for the prizes. So there were no public funds spent for the prizes. And
Mhm.
I've got photos and I'll be showing. They're planters that had a little tree in them and some other plants. And then on the tree, I decorated them with lights. So it's a planter that lights up. It's really quite pretty. So
Okay.
I was really grateful for the support on the council.
Oh, nice.
So we'll move forward with that, and we'll try to come up with a little system. But I think the idea of letting people know that we're going to be doing it again early
Mhm.
on is not a bad idea. And then
Mhm.
reserving the spaces to happen, do you think the fall of the year?
You know, if I think about this, I would love to have my corner, of course.
Right.
Because I'm right in front.
Well, and
So
we did want people to
I
have
would
something
be
near your
willing
business.
to pay. The thing is, if you say,
I see. Mhm.
yeah.
Well, we
I don't
will have it
know
all
how
happen
that-
at one time.
Do you like your spot? If you did it again, would you keep it there?
Yeah, because people cross the street there and they were waiting for the stop sign and they stand and look at all of our fabulous buttons.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
So when is a good time to open it up to allow people to start paying and reserving their spot?
What did we do the last time? I
Well, we
mean,
just,
We did late, like October.
we came up with the idea pretty
We
late.
started advertising the end of August.
End of August.
Yeah.
Is that when it was? God, time.
I know,
I know.
I know. Well, there
And
was a
that
lot to
more
work
of a-
out.
Yeah, it was like the initial, we're doing this, we're accepting it, but there wasn't really a lot of interest until October, November, when it got, yeah,
It's
later in
gonna
the
be
year.
different this next year.
Because they'll know about it.
yeah.
Well, maybe right after everyone goes back to school, right in there someplace is a good time when people start thinking about all the summer events are kind of over
Yeah.
and we're not competing with Fathoms or anything else.
When you send out the notice, and I'm thinking of the businesses in particular for those who added the trees,
Mhm.
how are you going to get the word to the merchants downtown?
Well, we were really involved in POPSA. I attended almost all the
Yeah,
meetings.
she did.
Right.
That was
And-
great.
We were, and then the way Bobby goes around, I mean, she's like the town
And just to
crier.
let them know that there will be a tree in every planter this year,
Yes,
and that no
right.
personal trees can be
Well, right,
stuck in.
right.
I
And
just
I
was
think that's,
concerned about the businesses doing like they're doing this year.
well, and you know what, not every planter was full, so some people were helping to just fill in to put a little
and that makes sense,
decoration.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, we'll do it, and, you know, just as you take all the flowers out at the end of the season, anybody who has trees in them, I'm sure POPSA will be working out some kind of
Oh, yeah.
rules
Oh, yeah.
for things like property or business trees can't really be staying in there, right?
Right.
You know, that's up to you guys to come up with your rules.
Yeah, well, Kathleen's on top of that.
Right.
Good.
Because then that'll clear the way for us to be able to get them planted
Right.
with the trees. And we wouldn't want to put them in any sooner than we did.
Right.
So we could
That worked out
repeat all of
good.
that again.
The guy at the tree farm was more concerned than I was, but he was really concerned about them drying
Drying
out too
out.
soon.
They are not dried
No,
out though.
they do look
I
nice.
keep going down the street and I didn't water mine and mine's still all right.
Mhm.
Well, they were planted in, the soil itself was wet.
Mhm. Well, we've had some pretty
Well,
good
that probably was
rains.
a good thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we just move forward with that. I'm sorry that we got a little bit long-winded on that, but that is half of what we had to decide.
Sure.
So we'll move forward with that, and let's just say, what is right after the first holiday there?
It's, what is it, Labor Day or I always
Taste of Port Orchard, Labor
Right.
Day.
Labor
So
Day.
it's
No,
always that
yeah, Labor Day.
first September
First of
weekend.
September.
Right after that,
So
we'll
right
start the
after
promotion. And we can find out with finance, but no payment will be taken then. And payment is where you choose your spot,
Right.
okay?
Mhm.
Good, I like it. Okay, recycling. What do we need to do for that? Anything? Does the city have to pay for recycling?
I haven't, you sent me a link, I haven't checked on that.
It's just a link to the Kitsap County Tree Recycling, and it just gives options on where you can take your trees and what to do with them.
Okay.
After
Sounds like
Christmas.
there might be a price unless we're a nonprofit group.
I can find out. I can
Okay.
see, yeah.
Would you double check on that? We want to make sure we have it in the budget.
Yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, I put on budget review.
Is this, do
Oh.
you need anything else from me?
I don't think I do. No,
Okay.
thank you, and thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Oh, without you.
You're our hero.
Oh,
Tree
you're welcome,
there.
and also keep in mind that I'm gonna be retiring in 4 years, so.
Oh, psh. Well.
We're
They're
gonna
gonna work
yeah.
you to death in 4 years,
Yeah,
buddy,
it's
let me
true.
tell you.
So I'm
We will be training somebody to replace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome. Thank
I
you.
thought he was gonna say next
Yeah.
year.
Retire. That's what I thought he was gonna say next year.
No, 4 years, we can do that. But he does so much.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah.
finds a way, so much.
I know.
Yeah, so,
That's
but
great.
I think he is gonna be starting to train somebody or be thinking along that
Oh,
line.
good.
So for budget, so Brandy was out Friday and today, and so she printed these off for you.
Okay.
And it's kind of a detailed
Oh,
on
yeah.
each of the line items, what's been spent, what's left, and then she wrote on the bottom what still needs to be added on here, so that we kind of have an idea of what is in the budget and what still needs to come out of the budget.
Okay, so it looks like we did very well. Okay, I will do some looking at this then, and we'll report on how we fared in our January meeting, because we'll have all the figures in by then. But we were very, very careful to try to stay within the budget. And part of the problem is that sometimes we don't know how much time we have in staff time, which we never know.
Yeah.
But we're good, and I think that everybody's been doing a good job of trying to figure ahead of time. And this year we didn't have the extra overtime with the hanging of the
With the
garlands at
hanging of
2
the
a.m.
garland.
So that helped.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more than anything, I really think this is something that the city should continue to do for the amount of goodwill that it generates and bringing the community together. It really is a
Mhm.
Well, I think
delightful
it
thing.
brings people in too.
Oh, it did,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, would you think that the Gig Harbor Youth Academy
Mm-hmm.
would do a tree like that? I was amazed.
I was too, at all the people who participated.
And then they have family, and then they can come in.
Mhm.
I just.
How
feel
did
it.
they hear about it in Gig Harbor?
There's a connect with a council member.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty
It's
cool.
great. And it's pretty easy to walk around town and talk about it. I mean,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I talked to a lot of people, are we recording, into it.
Yes.
Because it was the first time.
Mhm.
Now it'll be different.
Mhm.
And they'll start wanting.
Well, and I think people are already gonna be thinking about what to do with their tree too.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
That's true.
So, maybe what we can do though is go ahead and think on, categories at one of our next meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that we
That'd be
can make an
good.
announcement so people can plan
Yeah.
for categories. So,
I think it really helped to come to the POSA meeting too.
yeah,
You put yourself out there and it helped
yes,
a lot.
I know
It
it
was
did.
nice.
I did know. I enjoyed going actually.
And
Okay, we have photo presentation consideration on here, and some photos were taken, and we're looking into some legalities to see if it's something that we would purchase. And I don't have any more information than that right now. But we'll see.
Tim, I'm being recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the overview for 2019, if you can be thinking on anything else that we could add, that would be kind of fun. We need to get some feedback from Kathy Garcia on the decorated boats.
That's true.
They were beautiful.
They were.
There were
Mhm.
more than ever.
Yeah.
And they started
Yeah.
arriving early. Oh, they were just gorgeous out there.
Did they do the parade of boats in the harbor?
No, they don't. We don't do a parade here.
Okay.
I know, I think the Bremerton Yacht Club canceled the one that was on Friday, I think, due to the winds, and they did one on Saturday.
Oh, did they?
Mhm.
And yeah, my in-laws are part of the club, so.
Oh, are they?
And it's, yeah, they can't, and it went really well from what I heard, but yeah, they did cancel the one on Friday night. But that's the Bremerton Yacht
Mm.
Club, and they have set sailings as scheduled, and I'm not
I
quite
wouldn't
sure
mind
they go.
Seeing them just kind of go from
I
right there
know.
down to the gazebo and do a
And turn
circle
around.
around
Uh-huh.
Santa while
I
Santa's
wonder
there.
how hard that would
Because-
be,
Do you
or
want me
to.
to?
Because that lets people standing in line, and
To
like
see
she
the
said, it
boats,
went
yeah.
from the gazebo down to Peninsula Feed, basically, and at the very beginning, that was the rush. And if some of the boats were just wandering in there, that people can enjoy that view, listen to some music,
Well,
and
I
have a little
wonder
bit
if we
more
could
oomph.
have something that actually kind of circled our area. You know, the boats. There's a lot of boats,
There's a lot of boats.
and you have to keep
Yeah.
a certain distance between them.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be fun if we actually had them going around in some sort of
Mhm.
little parade or something? I don't know how hard that would be to organize that.
Does it have anything to do with the yacht club? Because
Yes, it does.
Well,
Yes.
Ramona and at the 9 is all worked so hard with Bremerton Yacht Club and all the yacht clubs because she's some kind of commander or something.
Oh, I see.
So maybe she could have some of the yacht clubs. I don't know
To
how
have them
that
more
works.
visible even.
Mhm.
I don't know how that works.
I don't either, but maybe we could check into that. But for sure, we can have music down there.
Yeah.
Music
Yeah.
would
And we can be thinking on,
You mean like a band or something?
Well,
that type or just music?
Even music
just,
from
just
our
boombox.
boombox
Yeah.
Yeah.
to have something
Good
going on with
speakers.
Santa, because it was just dead.
Yeah.
It was just
Or
dead.
some kind of little game for the kids or some musical chairs or something that brings families down there or cotton candy or food or
Well,
not
there already
fireworks,
is.
but
There's chili,
is there chili?
Yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
down there.
and there's some
that was
beverages
popular?
down there.
Mhm.
So there's food, and there's
Yeah.
usually the fire pits.
Would more food help or no? I don't know enough. Next year I'm going to have
It's
something
basically
cooking.
starts at 6:30.
Mhm.
And we went into Amy's to get a cup of soup. She was empty. And I thought, wow, all the people that were down here, I was surprised that her restaurant was so empty, like maybe 4 tables taken and that was it. And that was right, we stood in line quite a while waiting for the sleigh, and I said, okay, we can get down there faster than waiting for the sleigh. So we started walking down, and then that's when we went into Amy's. So, and I said, gee, I'm surprised you're not so busy in here. And she said, well, we were busy earlier, whoever I talked to, the
Oh.
waitress.
Oh, yeah.
They were busy earlier.
Probably in between the
Yeah.
run and.
Right, right. But right at that dinner hour, 6:30, and 6:30 is a reasonable dinner time, that's what just kind of surprised me.
Well, they had all
that she
just been down
wasn't
here at the
busy.
lighting.
Yeah, they
you
were all
know.
down here.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, they'd all hit there after the lighting, but they didn't.
The market was swamped. you
And the
know.
market was swamped.
And she had a lot of vendors. I mean,
Well, and that was a good thing.
that was a good thing. She
Yeah.
was, the public,
Was really busy.
was
Yeah.
So it
really
is,
busy.
as you say, that it's getting people down to the other
Yeah.
end.
Mhm.
They're there, the people are
Mhm.
there, you just need to, because the market was really full of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Or,
I had a good day, I mean,
Yeah.
they at least got to my place.
right, and the tractors, I'll
Same.
find out from the Olympic Antique Tractor Group what the rides were like. I didn't get to see if people were going
We
to those
waited,
rides.
but we just said we can walk faster than wait for the sleigh. And there weren't probably 20 people waiting in line when we were waiting in
Ooh,
line.
that's good.
Which was immediately after the ceremony.
Okay.
We headed straight out to get in line for the sleigh.
Yeah, I'll ask them how that went for
How
them.
did the pet parade go?
I don't know.
I missed it.
You know, it's
I
too
didn't
busy
see it, but it
to
but
hit
it
all these different
went
things.
well, from what I understand, and there were a lot of animals, but when I was over there visiting, I didn't see a lot of animals right there, but that was the registration, so they had come and registered and then went to wherever they needed to go.
Be interesting to hear.
Would Kathleen know that?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll ask Kathleen, huh?
right.
Okay.
What was the name, Woodland? Who did it?
Woodside?
Woodside.
Woodside Animal Hospital?
Maybe they'll-
Sponsor? Yeah.
They'll come back.
Mhm.
Oh, and it's
comment.
likely that someone will attend a meeting coming up.
But who ends up with all the registration forms? That would give you the head count.
Kathleen, I
Kathleen, I
think.
think.
Kathleen, okay.
Yeah. And I don't know how the magic show went at the library, but I imagine that was probably
Oh,
well
Kathleen
attended.
said there was a lot of kids. Yeah,
Good.
she'll give you a good
Okay.
Good,
So
comment.
see, you know, I mean, it really went over well.
good activity.
So we'll just keep at it.
Yeah,
I don't think that we can hardly afford to take a lot of time off next year. We were meeting pretty regularly, and we had plenty to do. And you can kind of see, it's nice to just keep the momentum going.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I think that we'll probably have a regular monthly meeting, and maybe 1 month or 2 months off right in the middle of the summer,
Mhm.
when the events are going on, so everybody can have a life too.
good idea.
What would that be like?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say.
So
Does that happen?
we'll work on that, but I would think input June, July,
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
and then start meeting up in August, so take a couple of months off.
sure.
Okay. So we'll keep right at it, and if you can be thinking on something that we could add, that would be kind of fun. Again, we never know what the weather's gonna be like. Maybe animals?
Now, the weather is a key factor.
Yeah, it is,
It is.
and it was nice.
It was
a good day.
nice. It was really, really
And
nice. Yeah.
that was incredible. So, thank you so much for everything you guys did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was really,
You're
really
the
nice.
organizer. That
Very
was
fun.
great.
So, and Janine did just a great job of,
Yeah.
Janine, can you do this? Yes. And she does it, and it sounds so
Can you make
quickly.
me little
She's
trees?
a silent go-getter.
Well, the website
Thank you.
and, you know, all of those postings and
Yeah.
Mhm.
a lot of hard work, and, yeah,
you.
so we really appreciate it.
You're
Very,
welcome.
very
I
much.
enjoyed it.
We love
And when
working
is our
with you.
tear down date?
Huh?
When is the tear down date for the trees?
When do they-
January 2nd-ish.
I believe, yeah, after the
Okay.
day after
Yeah.
New Year's.
So part of what we'll do is when we get our little announcement out, is we will mention again to have the decorations off
Mhm.
right after the first of the year.
Okay.
That's good.
Um, yeah, so thank you. I'm gonna be sad to see all the trees go.
I am too. I always am sad when the icicle lights go down.
When do they go down?
I'm sad when I take my decorations down out of my house.
Yes,